Let's explore Jamie Lee Curtis, a Hollywood icon, not only because of her talent but also because of the mysteries behind the halo. From horror queen to sex symbol, she always captivates the public. But behind that fame are tragedies, hidden corners that she never wanted to reveal. Through this rare series of photos, we will enter the ups and downs of Jamie Lee Curtis, a true story, not a movie script. Get ready to discover secrets that have never been revealed. Jamie Lee Curtis was born on November 22, 1958, in Santa Monica, California, into one of Hollywood's most prestigious families. She is the daughter of two screen legends Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh. But behind the bright lights of her parents, Jamie's childhood was filled with trauma and instability. Tony Curtis, a Hungarian immigrant boy, and Janet Leigh, a Danish-born girl, rose from difficult circumstances to reach the pinnacle of fame. However, that halo was also a double-edged sword. When Jamie was born, their marriage had begun to crack. She once shared, "I came into the world when my parents' fame had begun to break the bond between them." Tony and Janet's scandalous divorce not only made a lot of headlines, but also left a deep wound in Jamie's heart. At the age of 3, she witnessed her family falling apart, her parents turning their backs on her and drowning in irreconcilable conflicts. "I grew up in a house full of hatred. My parents hated each other all their lives," she once bitterly admitted. As the daughter of two Hollywood legends, one would expect Jamie to have a glamorous childhood. But the truth is that she grew up amid the pressures, the scrutiny, and the pain that only children born into fame can understand. After her parents divorced, Jamie's mother remarried a stockbroker, and she slowly accepted him as her new father. Life seemed to be getting back on track, but tragedy struck again. November 22, 1963, Jamie's 5th birthday, was the day America was shocked by the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The event cast a shadow over her happy day. "It was a very difficult situation," Jamie recalls. "But how do you cancel a 5-year-old's birthday?" Meanwhile, her father, Tony Curtis, fell into a whirlwind of fame and addiction, leaving Jamie with lasting scars. But instead of letting the past overwhelm her, she was determined to forge her own path. Although she initially studied law, Jamie soon realized her true passion was acting. "I wasn't a great student. I got in because of my family heritage. If your parents went there, you got in," she admitted frankly. After just one semester, Jamie dropped out to pursue her acting dream. Starting with small roles, she quickly made her mark. One of her first opportunities was a role in the TV series Operation Petticoat. But when the first season ended, she was unexpectedly fired. Instead of being discouraged, Jamie continued to persevere in looking for opportunities, ready to face any challenge to prove herself. What do you think about Jamie Lee Curtis' childhood and journey to success? Please like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below to share your thoughts. However, not everything was gloomy. In 1977, the door of opportunity began to open when Jamie Lee Curtis landed her first role in an episode of the television series Quincy, M.E. Although it was just a small start, she did not give up. Continuing to persevere, Jamie gradually made an impression when appearing in many other series, including the role of Nurse Lieutenant Barbara Duran in the sitcom Operation Petticoat that same year. Many people mistakenly believe that Jamie's career only really began with the classic horror film Halloween in 1978. But in fact, that was just part of her colorful journey and constant efforts. Before becoming the queen of horror movies, Jamie had to go through many challenges to affirm her position in the Hollywood entertainment industry. Jamie Lee Curtis Kong Chi La Bu Tuong Phim Kin Di, Ma Kon Chung Min Ko La Mot Dien Vien Tuk Luke, Sen Song Fa Vio Moi Gio Han De Vuan Len Din Chow Hollywood. Although many people think of Halloween, 1978, as the launch pad for Jamie Lee Curtis's career, her first big film was actually The Fog, 1980. While it wasn't a box office hit, it did help Jamie establish herself and open up many important opportunities. It was Halloween that really catapulted her to stardom. With a budget of only about $320,000 but grossing $55 million, the film became a cinematic phenomenon, turning Jamie into the queen of horror movies. The role of Laurie Strode, a resilient young woman who fights against the murderer Michael Myers, helped Jamie shine, paving the way for subsequent horror films such as Prom Night, Terror Train, and Halloween 2. But Jamie didn't want to be tied to this genre forever. Her big break came in 1983, when she took on the role of a kind-hearted prostitute in Trading Places. Initially, the studio objected because they saw her as a horror queen, but director John Landis believed in Jamie's talent and gave her a chance. The result? She won the BAFTA for Best Supporting Actress. Next, Jamie continued to attract attention with her role as a fitness trainer in Perfect, 1985, with John Travolta. Although the film was not a huge success, over time, it gained a loyal fan base, even being called grossly underrated by Quentin Tarantino. Not stopping there, Jamie also showed her comedic ability in A Fish Called Wanda, 1988, receiving many prestigious nominations. From 1989 to 1992, she continued to shine in the series Anything But Love, with the role of Hannah Miller, bringing her the prestigious Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in a Comedy Series. Jamie Lee Curtis is not only a horror movie icon, but also proves that she is a talented actress, ready to break all limits to reach the top of Hollywood. Despite her fame and success, Jamie Lee Curtis still kept a kind heart. In 1983, she met Lori Till, a young girl who had just undergone a heart transplant. Not only did Jamie provide financial support, she also became Lori's close friend. When Lori passed away at the age of 20, Jamie was heartbroken. In memory of the young girl, Jamie donated a VCR and a film library to the hospital, a meaningful gesture, showing her compassion. However, behind the halo are hidden corners that few people know. One of the most unforgettable moments of Jamie's career happened when she filmed the movie Perfect, 1985, with John Travolta. A cameraman refused to film her because her eyes were swollen. Jamie was stunned, feeling offended. "Do I look like a monster?" she wondered. But in fact, swollen eyes were a natural feature of hers since childhood. Although Jamie tried to ignore the criticism, she still could not escape her self-consciousness. To overcome this, she decided to undergo plastic surgery. But that led her into another dark chapter: drug addiction. After the surgery, the doctor prescribed painkillers, and gradually they became something she could not live without. Jamie kept this secret for more than a decade, even experimenting with drugs with her father, Tony Curtis. "I was very sick, but who knew? I still looked great," she bitterly recalled. But Jamie did not let the past defeat her. With extraordinary determination, she stood up and fought to regain her life. Not only did she successfully quit her addiction, Jamie also spoke out about the harmful effects of drug abuse, becoming an inspiration to millions of people. In 1994, Jamie Lee Curtis suffered the ultimate pain when her brother, Nicholas, passed away from a drug overdose. Not stopping there, a year later, her best friend, Richard Frank, also passed away due to complications from HIV/AIDS. Richard was not only a colleague, but also Jamie's spiritual confidant. When he went public with his illness, she did not distance herself but instead, always stood by him, giving him unconditional support. Richard's passing left an unfillable void in her heart. But instead of falling apart, Jamie decided to stand up. After years of struggling with painkiller addiction, she realized that she could not continue like this. She sought help and began a difficult journey of recovery. It was a huge challenge, but with perseverance, Jamie overcame herself. She not only saved herself but also became an inspiration to millions of people. Jamie began sharing her story, helping those stuck in the cycle of addiction, affirming that anyone can overcome it if they are truly determined. Jamie Lee Curtis is not only a film icon, but also a passionate writer and social activist. She has written many children's books, bringing meaningful stories, inspiring a love of reading in the young generation. Not stopping there, Jamie also actively participates in charity activities, contributing to many organizations to help children and people in difficult circumstances. Jamie's journey is not only a story of fame, but also a journey of love, loss, and revival. From the days of struggling with family pain to asserting herself in the entertainment industry, she has proven that no matter how challenging life is, people can still overcome and find happiness. Outside the Hollywood spotlight, Jamie has a strong marriage with Christopher Guest, a talented producer and actor. Together they built a happy family and raised two lovely children, proving that even in a turbulent world, true love still exists. Jamie Lee Curtis is not only a horror movie queen, but also a symbol of courage, perseverance, and compassion. She has built a solid career, inspiring millions of people around the world. Despite facing countless challenges, Jamie has continued to rise, affirming her position in the film industry and leaving behind an admirable legacy. Besides her acting talent, Jamie also contributes to social activities and becomes a beloved writer. She is a living proof that nothing is impossible if you have faith and dare to fight for what you love. Thank you for joining me to explore the colorful journey of Jamie Lee Curtis. If you haven't watched her movies, please find time to enjoy the excellent works she has participated in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave comments so that we have more motivation to bring more interesting stories. See you in the next video.